Hello. Yes, finally got my long awaited microphone. Thank you, Jesus. And so today's topic will be what to do when you hit a plateau in your fighting game career, enjoyment, or casuals, whatever, as long as you play fighting games. So my friend Durain asked me what I personally do when I hit plateaus. And thinking back, I think I've hit a lot of plateaus in my time, in my playing the game. There are a lot of times that I feel like I'm not really developing anymore, that I'm kind of like stuck at a particular skill level. And at those times I usually find myself on losing ends in matches. So this is usually what I do when such things happen. First thing I do is usually I go to the forums, either the SRK forums or Event Hubs forums, because these are like the two major forums for fighting games out there. So what I do is I go to the forums, I go to the characters that I play, and I just browse through the forums. I just check through the forums, going through the guides, the basic combo section, and just browsing through the forums to see if there is any new thing on the character that I have no idea about. So I usually pick up stuff from there. I kind of like to get into the mindset of other people as I play my character, and I try to pick up stuff that I can incorporate into my game from what they share on the forums. So that's a great place to start when you think that you have hit a plateau. Secondly, I watch match videos. I watch match videos of my characters against matches that I find difficult or matches that I have no clue about, but it's usually matches I find difficult. I check up most matches within them, if possible, against high ranked players, and I try to get into their mindset, not really just watching it. I try to like think on like the player that is playing. I like to think of what am I supposed to do in a situation. I like be watching and like, okay, this is a good place to go for this mix up, this is a good place to go for this setup, and I try to think what the other player has in mind in those situations, and I try to think what advantages are the choices that he made over the choices that I'll make. And I also keep an open eye for how he tackles on some defensive positions. Like, for example, in the Kami matchup, I'll just look, okay, what does he do when he gets hit by a Kami combo, or what does he do to escape with Vortex, or that kind of stuff. By watching that, I usually get ideas on how to avoid some stuff, and usually gives me something to practice when I just feel like going into training mode and testing stuff out. Third, I go to SRK wiki, the frame data section. Just for the fun of it, I like reading through the character data, the frame data, the notes after the frame data, because I don't really pay attention to those, but when I get stuck, I like checking out, okay, this is a property of this that I might not have known, this is a property of that. Like recently I was just checking out Gen's frame data, and I kind of stumbled out that his overhead was actually +1 on hit. So that got me thinking that if I break a focus with that overhead, that means I'll have roughly 2 or 3 extra frames for a counter hit. So that means I can actually link a standing jab after it. Yeah, I can do that. So that's one of the things you get from just going to the SRK wiki, and looking up stuff into your character, trying to apply different things that you find out there, applying them to your matches, like creating meaty setups and stuff, and just having an idea of what you can really pull off the hat from the frame data. Usually I find a lot there if I'm bored or if I'm hitting a plateau and I can't do much. I usually find a leeway when I combine reading the frame data and looking at hitbox videos and images. 4. I used to do this one way back, really when I started playing in online. This is online mode only anyway. When I go to the leaderboard, I tend to just scope out the top 20 players of my character and then check the regions they're from and trying to get in contact with the ones closest to my region, invite them in and either run some matches with them, or I just ask them questions regarding my character, the matches I have problems with, how they deal with such situations, and just get them to share the information with me. I find that really helpful in overcoming plateaus as such. Okay, number 5 will be looking over everything again. By that I mean, yes, at this stage I possibly might know everything that you need to know about the game, how things work, but when you hit a plateau, usually a time to like step back and try to look at the game from a larger perspective. Like whenever I hit a plateau, I just go to the SRK wiki and I just read the basics section, like basics on focus attacks, basic on dashing, on walking, on jumping. So when I do that, I usually pick up a few things and gets my mind thinking, gets me into that state of mind that everything is up for grabs, nothing is set in stone, and allows me to like think outside the box. So that's what I normally do in this situation a lot. Number 6. Okay, I don't really use this one much anymore because it doesn't really work that much for some reason. Is I message the top players of my character on Twitter, on Facebook, and I ask them questions, but for some reason I don't always answer that. I guess they're busy, they have what they're doing, but you can try that. I used to send messages to Zian, Yeb, New. Shout out to New, he's really one of the reasons I play again. He spent his time to show me the ropes when I was kind of like shooting blanks, so I'm ever grateful to him. And also Warrior by Sand, yeah, he also brought his time and share stuff. So you might be lucky and you get a top player that is willing to spend his or her time trying to point things out to you like I have, and that's always a good shot to always try to communicate with them, and most importantly try to be polite. That's very important. And doing that, you usually get insights on stuff that you never thought about before, and such getting to up your game and not being stuck in your plateau for forever. 7 is I usually taking a break. Yeah, sometimes your head is just clouded and you just need to like do something else entirely. Go out there, see the sights, play Medium Rush, play Frozen, play Brick Tetris, chase a girl, get drunk. Okay, might skip the get drunk part. Just have fun, because eventually life is not all about Street Fighter. So once in a while, when things starts getting cloudy and stuff, you just take a break, go out there, do something else. When you get back, usually refreshed, and you kind of like get ideas to overcome things that have been holding you back. So I usually count that as another way of getting around hidden plateaus. Number 8 is grinding it out in the lab. Yes, I do a lot of grinding. When I get stuck, when I get stuck, usually because I cannot react to something. I cannot do a particular combo, I can't do a particular setup, I cannot anti-air, those kind of stuff. So what I do, I just go into the lab and I grind it out. I just grind out those important aspects of my game that is obviously lacking. Like there was a time I was like performing Gens anti-air like 100 times per day. It was an obsession at that point, and I practiced so hard on his one frame link combo, and I had to like force myself to plink on pad. That stuff, although it's slightly more difficult than stick, is doable, very doable, but it requires a lot of practice. So I spend time in the lab, I grind it out. I usually don't care if I get it, I just keep on doing it and doing it and doing it, and suddenly it just starts to click, and from there it starts getting consistent, and before you know what's happening, it's in muscle memory. So that's another great way to overcome plateau, is you put in the time, you grind it out, and you find that you can anti-air more, you can react to pokes more, you can react to stuff more, and you have a better sense of timing and spacing, because when you're in the lab, you just kind of like want to test everything out. You want to know what range that this move will whiff, you want to know which range that this move will hit, that kind of thing. So that's a great way to overcome your plateau. Number nine. Okay, what I do at this point is try out other characters. I try out characters that have vastly different playstyle than my own character. I know that every character that I've dabbled into was usually when I hit a plateau in my own character. I hit a plateau and I tried Honda. I hit a plateau, I tried Filong. I hit a plateau, I try Akami. I hit a plateau, I try Yoon. I hit a plateau, I try Blanca. And with each new character with a different playstyle, I seem to get something that I take back to my own character. For example, when I play Zangief, I always find a way to inch in on my opponent's pace, and learning that, I kind of like carried it over to Gen, and I'm now able to like comfortably navigate my opponent's defensive space while taking minimal risk. So every practice with other characters that play different styles usually translates back to your own character and helps you develop when you have hit a plateau in your training. So that's also a good way to get over a plateau. Finally, number 10. At this point, what I do is I just start reading over great articles on fighting games all over the web. The Footsie Guide by Marge, the Playing to Win by Serling, the numerous articles by Seth Killian, Cross Counter Guide to Being Your Friends by Gutex. There's a lot of them, plenty of them. You find a lot of them. SRK, the Newbie Beginner links, and I have written a few myself, some articles. And I also find that not only reading articles but also writing them in your own words can help you overcome plateau by helping you understand deeply the concepts that you read about. So I usually do that when I kind of get unbelievably stuck. So I kind of like read articles, find out the things that you take for granted that you shouldn't really take for granted that can help you in your game. So that's really it. That's my last point of defense, and I usually do that when I get stuck and I've done every other thing else and I feel like I'm still getting stuck and such. That usually works out for me. So there you have it. There are 10 things you can do when you hit a plateau. I want to say thank you for taking out your time to listen to this. It's pretty long. I didn't really want it to be this long, but Oh well, I think it's all good. I just want to appreciate. I want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for taking all the time to listen to me talk on how to get over plateaus and stuff. So if you like this and you want me to make more, you can do me a favor, share, like, comment, and you can also put down in the comment section what you want me to talk about next. If you have any problem, whatever it may be, just write it down so I can focus on making them. Also, I'm working on some guides for Evil Ryu. I'm sorry it's taking a lot of time because I currently don't have a computer or a console to capture footage on, so please bear with me. I'm planning on focusing on Evil Ryu for a while, then probably gonna go on to Yoon, and just bear with me on this. So I want to say thank you very much, everybody. Thank you to SRK, to Event Hubs. Thank you, you guys rock. You guys are awesome. More grease to your elbow, more power to you. And to everybody that's listening, I want to say thank you once again. So till next time, this is Ryu Apprentice, aka Ugo. To you, I say goodbye, and till next time.